in the middleweight division. Let's meet our next two warriors. From 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu Oceanside and King's MMA, give it up for Wayne Train Sommerlot.
Wayne Train Sommerlot, 1-0, age 26, weighed in at 184.1 pounds, stood at 5 foot 10 inches tall, 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu Oceanside.
He fights actually a lot like Dalton. This guy comes forward, he's got good hands. He's from a great jiu-jitsu gym that has excellent striking, and Coach Adam Castro, AJ Matthews, and Nesto Pello, so you know he's gonna have good transition from striking to wrestling. This guy comes forward hard and heavy.
And he's got, like you can tell, the powerful wrestling build is ideal for MMA, but he gets to the back really well, very quickly, big ground and pound, and I think he's looking to make it 2 in a row. I fully noticed his power and his speed, and that's really what you're gonna see out of these wrestlers, out of these jiu-jitsu practitioners. This is the new breed of competitor where they've been doing it since a youth. They've been doing it for years already, so by the time they get in, these amateur circuits, they've already had a good sense of what competition is.
Both of these guys come forward hard and relentless. This fight is going to be nothing but fireworks, and both fighters are extremely talented.
And let's bring his opponent into the cage. From Ramona MMA, please welcome Caesar, the Black Primo, Nwokedi.
I think Caesar has a little bit more of a range game. I think Caesar does like to kickbox, even though he can wrestle as well. But I think Caesar's going to come out looking to try and really implement his striking. I think this is a really good stylistic matchup, Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. I've trained a little bit with Caesar, the Black Primo. He's making his debut, but what I will say is he is very long. He has a big frame, and especially early, he's going to be very difficult to take down. He's super stubborn in defending those takedowns, and so it'll be interesting. Is he able to control that range, right? That's going to be the biggest element to this fight. Can he keep his opponent on the outside?
When fighting a good, strong wrestler, that wants to come forward, one thing you're going to have to utilize is angles, to angle away from that power, angle away from that shot. You're going to be able to have to shut that down with either leg kicks, calf kicks, or uppercuts. And, he's very good at doing that. He's very talented. He's worked his range game really well. And I see this just being absolute fireworks. This is going to be a very good fight. I think this is going to be as action-packed, if not more, than the last fight.
Lots of lateral movement.
Lots of lateral movement, away from the power.
You can't set your feet so much, but establish that jab early will be really important for him.
Once he gets his movement and range control going.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is sponsored by At Your Service Blue Corner and the Swagger Burger Bar Red Corner. Let's meet our warriors as we go 3 2-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a record of 1 win and no losses. He stands 5 feet, 10 inches tall, and weighs a ready 184.1 pounds. Representing 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu Oceanside, give it up for Wayne Train Sommerlot. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist making his debut tonight. He stands 6 feet, 3 inches tall, and weighs a ready 184.1 pounds. Representing Ramona MMA, give it up for for Caesar, the Black Primo, Nwokedi. Your referee is Steve Quick.
As I was saying, Jordan, once he gets his angles and range game going, that's when he can start to use and start to work and set up those kicks that he's got. He's got very big kicks. I teach my fighters outside leg kicks, you can get shot on all day long. But if you can hit those inside leg kicks and kick that front leg out, that's when you can start to shut down someone's forward progress. And another good thing.
And you see the stubbornness. Wayne working for that single.
He's got that. He turns it all straight into side control, Jordan. Caesar needs to get onto his left hip. He needs to get onto his left hip and get that knee guard across sooner than later. He's got to get some range, get some space going.
And when they're both completely dry like that, this is the hard. Oh, one hook in. He's got a second one.
That left arm is under the chin. He's reaching for that shoulder. Caesar needs to hand fight. He needs to hand fight. And he needs to shake and start to break those hooks out. Now that he's got his chin out, he really needs to put one of the focus on getting one of those legs off. If he can keep his, if he can keep those hooks in, he's going to be able to keep this position, Jordan.
And you see Wayne just trying to wear on him.
And just easing that left arm across. And he's making it, when he does that at the same time, he's making it very hard for Caesar to breathe.
Ooh, that's a good squeeze right there.
That was the wrong thing to do.
Body lock.
Yeah, he's already got the body lock. Caesar is doing very well to keep his chin low and keep that hand fighting. You know, sometimes though, I even train that if you don't have the rear naked choke, you can actually get that face crank and get the finish there as well.
Now
Wayne
20
is just
seconds
swimming
left
here.
And Wayne just doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Posture up and score. If you don't get that sub, just soften him up with punches.
Position before submission or even striking. He's doing it very well, Jordan. He's throwing shots, but to Caesar's credit,
big bridge.
To Caesar's credit, none of them are
fist.
landing. None of them are super hard shots. I told you that was going to be fireworks. Straight out, come out. Caesar throws a teep to the face and a 1-2, and they land. And Dwayne shoots right off the bat.
And let's get a little bit of this replay right now. Big single, finished it.
Right into side control. And from side control, he goes straight to the back. And Caesar had to carry his weight for a lot of that round. You know that takes a lot out of you. That's probably why he kind of threw that Hail Mary and was hoping that if he slammed him on the back that he might be able to get an inch out. But that's really unfortunate. That's the wrong thing to do. It just sinks the choke in and the hooks in even deeper. And to his credit, while it wasn't technical working towards an escape, that movement kept him from meeting any big shots.
Right. And now it starts back on the feet. How much did that squeezing take out of Wayne? What adjustments is Caesar able to make? If I'm Caesar, I probably just stick to the boxing. The hands looked good, especially with the length. A little bit easier to defend the shot.
Much easier. He went deep to the face, 1-2, and Dalton was already shooting by the time the 2 even got anywhere near the chin. He needs to move. This is a classic southpaw versus orthodox striker, and there's a certain techniques and angles off that front outside step you need to utilize to counter that open stance fighter.
Ooh, in on the double.
He's got good, tight double. The hands are locked.
Ooh, and a big slam.
Body slam, Jordan. And he's already into side control again. He needs to work that technical get up. You're going to eat a couple punches to do it, but that's what you got to do.
Man, just straight on the back.
Just like you said in the opening statements, this guy is a back control specialist.
And look, working for that body lock, toes. Looks like it's slipping a little bit.
He's got that hook under the far leg, which really locks that body triangle in. And he's got the left hand under with that wrist control. Caesar does good to break that.
And he's got a lot of time to work as well with a minute left.
Halfway point through the fight. You see that little adjustment when he opened up that body triangle and then synced up the hips again?
And he's just working on it. It's a little bit more difficult to get that rear naked with the gloves on. There's a little bit more friction.
Yeah.
You can fight the hands better. And you see Wayne just squeezing.
Especially those bigger 6-ounce gloves. It's kind of harder to sink that under the chin. It makes it a little easier to hand fight as well. But right now it looks like he has it. I think the chin might be under just a hair under that wrist, but he could finish it here if he can get that right arm free. If I was, I would be calling for palm to palm. Don't try and get that under the bicep. Go palm to palm with that grip and see if we can get the finish. Pull that right hand back, palm to palm. There it is. We got 10 seconds left. I think he should come out to mount and drop some bombs. We're not going to get the finish, but he already has the dominant 2 rounds in the bank.
All right, there we go. Round 3 about to begin.
Both fighters have exuded a lot of energy, both in hunting the submission and fighting it off. You called it when you said that ultimate statements that Dwayne is just a master at getting to the back. He was lightning quick from side control, both rounds, in getting that back control.
Yeah, and just in on the double, and that was the story of the second round. Then he transitioned immediately to the back. And Caesar just needs to control the center of the cage. That's where he's giving up his takedowns against the cage. So if he moves laterally, it's going to give him an opportunity to open up his striking, but he really needs to finish in this 3rd round. He's probably down 2-0 right now.
We're into that with that southpaw v orthodox open stance fight. That outside step is really going to set the angles off everything, and that's movement away from the power. Caesar needs to get on that outside step, angle away from the power, angle to his right away from Dwayne's power, and set up that straight 2 down the pipe. He's really got to control that range. You know the shot's coming.
And Caesar looks very composed. So does Dalton. I'm sorry, Wayne.
Oh, is that almost an inverted ninja choke? Caesar's looking a little flat-footed. He's standing a little bit upright. You need to have your base a little bit lower when you're fighting a wrestler and you know that shot's coming. He's doing good, though, moving to the right. I would tell him to abandon those inside leg kicks because that shot's coming behind it.
And on the double, the lift.
Right into half guard.
And right now, if I'm Wayne, I'm just ground and pounding.
100%.
Just ground and pounding. You've already attempted the rear naked a couple times. Caesar was keen to it. I'm just going to try to score and probably try to get the TKO. At this point,
the fight's won. Play a smart fight plan. Fight a smart game plan from here on out.
Knee on belly.
Caesar's got that lock, and while it may be tight, you're not going to get that finish from the angle. He's holding himself in a bad position here. He needs to let go with that left hand and get that right arm on the hip and create some space and get his right knee guard across. He's keeping himself in a bad position here by maintaining that choke.
Ooh, and he takes the mount. Lots of shots running down by Wayne.
Caesar does good to move when he's in bad positions. He moves to take away from the shots, but he's not moving to get out of the bad positions.
Lots of shots. Ref looking at the fight closely.
He's
Wayne
still
looking
bridging,
to finish.
Moving and blocking, but if he doesn't really show something to get out of this position, the ref may stop the fight.
Ooh.
If I'm his coach, I'm telling him to posture up and drop bombs. Posture up and bomb, 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 bomb.
Man.
Great fight from Wayne. Great, great game plan. Incredible wrestler. Every time he shot, you know what I tell my students, if you're flat, you're not going to finish that takedown. You have to get your head under your hips. I say, get your balls right. We have one ball in our throat, another one on our waist. To finish that wrestling shot, you have to align them. And Wayne, as soon as he gets in, it's about 2 seconds before he gets his balls right, his hips under his neck, and then he lifts and then dumps.
And great top pressure, too. I mean, scoring, 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 looking for the sub, going back to scoring.
While peppering the whole time.
Right, right. And when he becomes a professional, when he becomes a more experienced amateur fighter, it goes more experience amateur fighters get 3-minute rounds. That's a lot more time to work, especially for a grappler. Then when you go pro, you got a 5-minute round, and that's like an eternity.
Exactly.
So he's going down the right path right now.
And what is this, his first or second fight? So when he gets after the third fight, he's going to be able to take off those shin pads. And if you see, he's got very thick Vertex shin pads on. That made it hard for him to get that good control with that body triangle that he was getting. As soon as those shin pads come off, that body triangle actually becomes a weapon, because you can lock that so deep under your far knee, you actually start to cut off the air just with the body triangle itself. That in itself is going to help that rear naked choke submission come.
Yeah, and for Caesar, I mean, you got to know, especially being the taller, longer guy, when you go back to the drawing board, you got to address the cage wrestling. You got to get those quick stand-ups. Because you know, being that long, there's going to be a lot of guys that are just going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to stand and trade. I'm gonna take that shot. So you're going to have to be able to defend those takedowns and stand back up and wall walk.
Yeah, it's a lot of wall work wrestling, hitting the switch, finding that whizzer underhook head position. One thing you could really improve is just fighting for that head position. His head was high up in the air. It allowed Wayne to get in on a single or the double that he hit on the last round, just like that. But credit to him, just like in the last fight, you know, like Kejwan, Caesar also never stopped. He was mounted how many times here, and in the last round, he's still moving, still trying to bridge and hip bump. Little adjustments can be made, but he has tremendous tools and weapons that he could build off of.
Yeah, I mean, the physicality alone is a huge benefit, right? You know, you have the potential. We just got to go back to the drawing board, fill in some of the blanks, and move forward from there.
Yeah. There's a lot of talent to work there. He could be turned into a great fighter. Just put your head down and work and build off of those tools you have.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 fantastic rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. 2 judges scored about 30-27, and your last judge scores about 30-26 for unanimous decision victory. Out of the blue corner, Wayne Train Summers!